Hello, welcome to Hello Charlotte, Heaven's Gate, a short little visual novel developed by etherane, available on itch.io and Steam. It's I believe, a little side story of the Hello Charlotte trilogy, focusing on the True Realm characters, right? The ones that you see. Well, it's kind of spoilers, but I guess it's really recommended that you check out the trilogy first before you even check out this game, right? So definitely check that out, either on your own time or my own playthrough of the first, second, and third game of Hello Charlotte. But yeah, this one is kind of like on top of that is focusing on the characters from the True Realm, you know. But let's just start. Oop. Ether works. Oh, did I skip the animation? Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. Or Heaven's Gate. Number 1, Vincent Fennell. It was a little confusing because I thought that I actually did think the animation was going to play, but then it wasn't playing, so I just clicked, but then I skipped it. But anyway. Vincent Fennell is watching a small trail of ants go by, his gaze remaining disinterested. I approach him out of curiosity. Oh, winged ants. That's rare. They're so small. That's good. Bugs are yucky. Okay, they're little kids, I assume. Look. He gets up from his knees and steps closer to the ant trail. We must be like God to them, don't you think? With those words, Vincent picks one up. Just one tug and the wing rips off with an alarming ease. Very sadistic. Stop it. Let it go. What are you being so upset about? Just because we're bigger doesn't mean we should hurt them. It's just a bug, though. This is such a much more sadistic version of Vincent. We don't really see him a lot in the main games. Really. But Mom says even the smallest lives matter. My mom says bugs are annoying. I'll be honest, I'm on Vincent's side. I don't sadistically like rip off their wings or anything, I guess. Or it was an ant, right? Ants have wings? Actually, I don't know. Maybe some ants have wings. Was it an ant? Anyway. If you don't stop, I'll tell the nurses. The boy simply gets up and leaves. What's up with him? From that day on, I decide that I don't like Vincent Fennell at all. Okay. Alright, so this is kind of like an alternate universe, maybe, where they don't end up being friends? It's kind of, I don't know. Like, I don't know how they ended up meeting in the first place. Wasn't it, like, online, I guess? But maybe this is like a different, different universe or whatever. Oh, and somebody, oh, the queen ants have wings. Oh, okay. Well, how did the queen ant end up outside? Isn't the queen ant usually staying inside? Unless they're migrating. Anyway, I don't know much about insect society. It's lunch break, though, apparently. Everyone's trading stickers and hoarding tassels. Tassels? I don't know what tassel is, to be honest. A recent fad among kids. It's probably some kind of toy. Vincent is surrounded by children who are marveling at his collection. Oh, this one's super rare. Super rare Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Blue Eyes White Dragon, no? Where'd you get it? It was in my chips. Lucky. Do you want it? Can I have it? I don't have anything good to trade you. I don't mind. Just choose one that you don't have then. Trade with me too. Me too. What are you looking at, Charlie? Want to trade too? No. Mom says chips are bad for health. No chips for you. Boring. Yeah, something about queen ants migrating. I assume it's something about, because I don't know, anyway. Vincent, look, I have holographic ones. Ugh, what's so special about him? All he has is a pack of tassels. Is it like, is the PogChamp emote, right? It was kind of like based on a toy as well. That was probably before my time. I actually don't know what a PogChamp is. It's like little thing you collect. Any kind of collectible, I guess, I assume is an apt analogy. It's like Pogs, right, or something. Well, lost in thought, I trip and drop the box of the classroom turtle that I was carrying. Oh no, the turtle. The nurses yell at me and make me stand in a corner for half an hour. I blame it on Vincent too. Number 3, Mother. Yes. When I'm 5, we move into a flat, swarming of cockroaches and pigeons living on the balcony. Ugh. Why is this place so dirty, Mom? I ask. The person who lived here wasn't very cleanly, his mother's answer. I want to go back home, I tell her. Why do we have to leave? We won't be staying here for long, dear, Mother says, and I want to believe her. The surrounding dirt makes my skin crawl. Later, I overhear our neighbors talking and learn that the former owner was a drug addict. Yeah. Died of an overdose, they say. When I raise my voice, Mother tells me to keep quiet. When I walk around the house, Mother says that my footsteps are too loud. When I become excited, Mother reprimands me for misbehaving. One evening, she has a breakdown over unsorted clothes in the drawers. We're talking normally, then the next moment, the house is filled with shouting and sounds of my clothes being violently thrown on the floor. There must be something else she's angry at, but I'm too young to understand. I apologize over and over, promising I won't do that ever again, as if I committed a grave sin. I'm sorry, Mother. I can make everything right. I won't become a burden. Alright. See, I guess you see some parallels with the third game, where we learn about Charles' backstory, I guess, maybe? But he's much younger, though. So, again, some weird, like, butterfly effect thing going on, maybe. We're having a concert to celebrate autumn. Our nurses are wearing dresses with paper maple leaves sewn onto them. I recite a poem aloud, trying to not mess it up halfway. It has 4 lines. Only 4 lines. Can't mess it up. I'm so nervous that my voice comes out too quietly, even though I recite it perfectly. Vincent got 6 lines. Oh, got 2 more than me. It must be because the nurses think he's the smartest of the group. Oh, he's got like 2 more poetry lines or whatever. Is it poetry or something? And somehow that makes him superior, I guess. Hell, he even goes to the chess club. Oh my god. Well, back in my day, you'd be called a nerd for doing that. You get beat up. Freaking chess? That's not cool. Well, these days it's cool, I feel like. Isn't there like a lot of... I mean, it was like a fad, right? For a long time. Like a lot of like content creators based all around chess on YouTube and Twitch. It's actually cool now. But back then, it wasn't. Vincent recites the poem in a monotonous tone, like he doesn't even give a damn. No, I didn't. That's not the line. Like he doesn't give a care, rather. Vincent's almost always the last to be picked up by his parents. Sometimes nobody comes and he just goes home alone. I tell Mom about that and she totally freaks out. How can a child go home by himself? She exclaims, shocked. What are his parents thinking? I don't know what to say to that. Because a lot of the time, I don't know what you're thinking, Mother. I guess, I don't know. It's Valentine's Day. We're just like going through the seasons, I guess. Everyone gets tangerines and Kinder Surprises for lunch. I get sick, however, and throw up onto my festive shirt. Yes. I didn't like it much anyway. Mom did, though. Vince is at the nurse's office, too. He tripped and scraped his knee. The nurse is drawing a net on it with a green antiseptic. The scrape seems bad, but he's not even wincing. His stare staying blank. He just feels no pain. This is nothing. Doesn't he feel any pain? Maybe he's actually a robot. Should probably check. You know? No? Well, I mean, robots don't bleed. Unless somehow this robot has like artificial skin and simulates bleeding, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, I want to ask him that, but my headache is too strong, so I ignore him. All I want is to go home and watch cartoons in bed. My Japanese cartoons, no. Thankfully, Mom's quick to come to my rescue. Afterwards, I stay at home for a whole week. Okay. It has a bad home life. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to like speculate right from the get-go. I like to keep it until the end. But I guess you can see a lot of parallels again from the third game. That's why when you always see Vincent, he's always bandaged up. So that implies that maybe, you know, like scraping his knee is not the worst thing that happened to him. I guess is the idea. That's what I got from that. Anyway, time passes fast. My kindergarten graduation album is filled with pictures of other kids running around and a macro photograph of myself in some kind of medieval clothing from the photo shoot. It's my favorite one, but I'll never admit it. I will never admit my, I guess, my admiration for medieval history. I don't know. I can barely contain my excitement for the first day of school. All right, so we graduated from kindergarten. So we started from like when they were kids. It seems. I guess, did it say it was a coming-to-age story? I don't know if that's what it said on the store page. I think it was like slice of life, but anyway. Vincent goes to a different one, but it doesn't matter. I didn't like him much anyway. I don't like that weirdo. Who cares? Well, number 7. Elementary school is boring. I solved all the problems in my math work broken one evening. As a consequence, I ended up dying of boredom at actual lessons. Should there be a faster way to do this? Yeah, I'm trying. Okay, now I'm just thinking about my life. I was thinking about elementary school. Elementary school is fine. I mean, obviously, I don't remember much of it. It's been so long. But I remember my teacher, like, mentioning at, like, a parent-teacher meeting or whatever. She said, like, I was kind of... Well, in a way... she said, like, I was, like, a teacher's assistant, you know? Because I was always the one who raised up, you know, his hand. And I often pointed out when something was wrong, actually, you know? When... I don't know obviously the details anymore, but like when she ever just like maybe like a spelling mistake or like wrote the formula wrong for like math or something, I was like, that's wrong, teacher. It's actually like this, you know. Like I'm always that guy, smart ass. I feel like, I don't know. She said it in a nice way, but I feel like definitely it probably was annoying. But anyway. As the school days passed, I get so excited about my intellectual abilities that I point out others' mistakes every time I notice it. Wait a minute. Whoops, actually, I maybe have more in common with this guy than I thought. Anyway. Are you just hyper? I'm the opposite. I'm not very... Well, I'm trying to think. Well, maybe when you're kids, I guess. You are pretty energetic, but... Definitely... definitely not, like, super hyper for me. But anyway. The girl sitting next to me seems to enjoy my company, mainly because she gets to copy my answers during tests. So that's cheating. Can't let that happen. That's cheating. It's against the rules. Don't you know? In the meantime, I find a new way to make friends. All you have to do is buy them food or share yours. Well, I didn't do that. I didn't have like money to buy food. Then everyone will gather around you, excited to get sweets for free. Look at Mr. Fancy Pants having so much money to like buy so much food. I spent all my pocket money on snacks and still end up being chosen last at PE lessons. Well, as it turns out, bribery doesn't work, okay? It takes me some time in an after-school meeting to learn not to poke my nose into others' business. It's not my fault people cheat on tests. I'm just doing what's right. At least that's what I think. Apparently, people don't like snitches, nor they like being responsible or proper. Well, I'm doing everything not to be a burden. They're giving their all to cause trouble. I feel like this will take some time to sink in. I'm trying to... again, I'm just trying to remember my life. And like cheating? I mean, I never cheated, you know, because I never needed to. I just did my homework. I mean, I'm a bit of a nerd, I guess. I just did my homework, right? I just did whatever was needed. I never really struggled at school all that much. Only when university definitely is when it got harder. But before that, you know, kind of breezed through it, really. Only because, again, it's like, I like the way I describe it is like, I'm not very smart, you know, I'm not like a super genius or anything, but all I did was just do my work, right? Just, if you do the homework, you do the assignments, then the tests and exams are pretty easy because it's just a repeat of what you did before, usually, you know? So, at least that's how I see it anyway. So there's no need to cheat, really. And, I don't know. Anyway, over the years, I learned to keep my mouth shut. Everyone cheated from you? You got gifts and returns? Well, I don't believe in that. I don't know. I don't think I ever let anyone cheat from me. Because I just felt like that was like wrong, right? I don't know. That was just against the rules. I don't know. I'm just like, I'm very straightforward. It's like, that's against the rules. So I just don't do it. You know, it's like, I don't know. Like, why would you do that? That's literally not what you're supposed to do. So I just don't do it. I don't know. Anyway, from a moderately talkative kid, I turned into a complete class ghost. By the end of 4th year, everyone still calls me by my last name. When is this? Is this still elementary or is this middle school? I don't know. This is like quite early to just to be traumatized, you know, by bullying already in elementary. I don't know. I feel like elementary is very innocent time for me. I don't know. Nobody like beat up each other in elementary. That's like way too young. People beat each other up at least in middle school, you know, usually in high school. I feel like not in elementary. Elementary already getting beat up? That's crazy to me. Kids these days are crazy. Well, in middle school, we see each other again. I assume Vincent. Hey, it's Vincent, and he's happy. Vincent looks more frail than I remember him being. Maybe it's just that I've gotten taller. When he sees me, he smiles. In fact, he smiles to everyone. Ah yes, he's learned to blend in. The usual unchanging blank expression that he had in kindergarten is gone from his face, replaced with a mask. It's unsettling. I don't smile back, because he's a weirdo. Can't just do that. Can't just be happy. It's insane. Somehow we end up doing a class project together. By the time I gathered the courage to ask someone to invite me, everyone else had already found a partner. But there was an open open spot in his group. The other 2 kids just want easy marks, so only the 2 of us actually end up working. Yeah, I never liked group presentations or group projects or whatever. You know? Because everyone was just lazy, you know? Vincent is surprisingly nice to work with, though. He's a good team player, very considerate, giving his all to complete the task. A complete contrast to most of the kids. For the first time in a while, I have fun working in the group. Oh, I got a system notification. Incoming message from Charles. Alright, text messaging. Here, I'm sending over the presentation files. Great work. I'm so happy. Let's do our best tomorrow. He's thankful for my effort. This must be the first time in 5 years of school. Really? Not even the teachers? Again, maybe I was just a bit of a teacher's pet, but I got all the praise I needed from, you know, from my marks. But anyway, it's like, you did it. You got, you know, good marks on this test. Great. You know, it's like, I don't know. I'm so moved that I put his name first on the project's title slide. Oh, yes. Very honorable, I guess. Somehow that changes everything, you know, putting your name first in the title slide somehow. I don't know how. Is that like a thing? Anyway, it's the project presentations day. Vincent, who was chosen as our group's representative, has a clear, powerful voice. Unlike me, who gets so anxious that I start to stumble in every word, earning giggles from classmates. Well, that's why you gotta practice, you know? I mean, not everyone gets good at, like, presenting and public speaking right from the get-go. You gotta practice, you know? Anyway. I hate myself for it. Regardless, our group gets the highest marks. Maybe teamwork isn't half bad. I catch myself thinking maybe the power of friendship isn't so bad after all. Anyway, but number 9, weakling. Vincent loses consciousness during one of our PE lessons. I never really noticed it before, but it really has the worst stamina in class. Same. I was never really good at physical education, really. I still got good marks though. I think I mentioned it before. I don't know if in the same playthrough, but I got good marks just by participating, really. It wasn't all that strict, you know? It's like, as long as you put in effort, then you got good marks in gym. But I think it's because I had a nice gym teacher. While I failed all the speed tests, I can endure running long distances just fine. Oh yeah, the beep test. You know, there's that beep test that you always do. And I hated that. I tried my best not to be last. I remember, I think the last time I did the beep test, I think it was in high school, I can't remember, but definitely I tried my very hardest not to be last. I think I was second last, but at least I wasn't last, you know? He, however, looks completely exhausted after just a few laps. After overhearing one of the conversations between teachers, I learned that Vincent has health complications. Fennell's not running again. I heard he has a weak heart. Or was it anemia? But he's the best student in class. Maybe he's pushing himself too hard. People don't like that don't live long. Really? How do you know that? You're even just preteens. You're not even teenagers yet. You think about that already. Think about death. My uncle died from a stroke. Really? Radical. I don't... Vincent dying? The possibility has never occurred to me before. Maybe children don't think too deeply about life and death in general. I mean, that's true, right? Because I feel like when you're a kid, same as me, you don't think about it all that much. You're so young, you feel like your life is so short, you know, on this planet. You feel like, relatively, you have like a long way to go, you know? Like, being like an adult is just so far away when you're a kid. You just don't think about it, but anyway. I look at him sitting on a bench near the teacher watching us run. We never really talk, but I've been watching him for a while, like a creepy stalker? No. So to me, it feels like we share a connection. No, actually, that's called a parasocial relationship, Charles. You know? Anyway, Henrietta Warhol. Ah yes, Henri. I often volunteer to stay behind on class duty. Okay, class duty. Now, that sounds like a very Japanese thing. I don't know. I mean, obviously, most of what I know from Japanese culture is literally from anime, which is not completely accurate, I have to admit. But I don't know if any other cultures do like class duty, you know, where you're like, you clean up the classroom and everything, you stay behind, and there's like, you know, like rotating positions. Like, I don't know what I'm saying, right? But you know, like there's like a set schedule of students who stay behind and clean up after everybody and everything. That's, I feel like, a very Japanese thing that happens in a lot of anime, and probably in real life too. But you know, I just don't know if there's any other cultures that do that, because I can only assume this takes place in Japan, you know, or Japan America or something. You know, it's like weeb world, weeb country. Henrietta Warhol gets bullied into it. Is that how it works? I thought it was like, you know, decided by the teacher. You can get bullied into it. The other girls call her smelly and cow tits and make her do things instead of them. Well, first of all, you probably need a shower. Anyway. So right now, she's unenthusiastically scrubbing a dirty desk with a wet rag. You should use detergent to scrub this off. Don't tell me what to do, Eiler. Oh yeah, interesting, by the way. Henrietta is a lot different. I remember, yeah, in the third game, we saw very briefly of her, like, original form, I guess, that one time. And yeah, she did look like this. It's a lot different from what she usually appears, you know, in the rest of the games, I guess. I think in the second and third one. Did she appear in the first one? I don't think so. Only the second and third one. But yeah, she dyed her hair and changed her hairstyle, I think. Anyway. Why are you even here? It's not your turn to clean. I like cleaning, because I'm a weirdo. I don't know. Or more like, I can't trust anyone with it. Oh yeah, because I mean, I can only assume this version's Charles probably doesn't like germs either, so... Everyone's too sloppy and lazy to properly clean all the dust. Yeah, but you know, the dust is just gonna come back anyway. Especially in the environment where people are just going back and forth all the time. It's very dusty and dirty very easily. Just thinking of sitting behind a dirty desk makes my skin crawl. Weirdo. Yeah, my thoughts exactly. You can go home. I plan to stay after lessons anyway. I have piano class coming up in 2 hours. Just enough time to clean and do homework. No, I'll stay. They're waiting outside. If I go too early, they might think I'm slacking off. Damn, that's complicated. You know, like, why is a bunch of other students, like, controlling this cleaning duty? That's weird. Okay. We clean in silence. We don't really know what to... I don't really know what to talk about with her. Henrietta doesn't seem like she's up for discussing homework either. Henrietta? Yes? Give me your hand. I placed candy in it. Here, good work today. Carrying snacks around still remains as a habit of mine. Oh yeah, back in elementary, when you bribed everyone. You bribed their friendship with candy. Which doesn't work because, again, once you run out of candy, then they don't care anymore, right? So, anyway, might as well try to win Warhol's goodwill with it. Henrietta stays weirdly silent. There isn't anything wrong with it, right? Unless you don't like barberry flavor. Barberry? What's barberry? I don't know. Barberry? Oh. Thanks. You're welcome. Henrietta awkwardly stumbles out of the classroom without saying so much as a goodbye. Weeks later, we start talking during lunch breaks sometimes. The other girls mock and tease her for it, but Henrietta learns to talk back. Maybe she's more confident about herself when she feels less alone. Incoming message from Henri. Okay, listen up, Eiler. We're gonna get rid of your acne. I'm gonna send you a list of skincare products and food to avoid. But Mom! No buts. For a clean freak, you sure hate looking after yourself. Yeah, that's funny. That's an ironic sentiment. Also, number 11 pass. Mother never tells me anything about her past, her father, and I never ask. It's something we never talk about. All I can do is listen to her occasionally cry at night and keep quiet about it in the morning. She's holding up well, but I can't help but worry that one day she might trip and fall and never get up. The thought makes my hands itch, and I spend 10 minutes in the bathroom trying to wash it off. 10 minutes to wash off your hands. Isn't it like, shouldn't you wash your hands for like, maybe like at least 30 seconds? You know, you shouldn't wash it that much. At least, was it? Actually, there's like there's always this government, you know, or maybe not government, but it's like the recommended amount of time to clean your hands. I always forget what it is. I think it's like 30 seconds or something. Anyway, I want to grow up and become someone she could depend on. Well, that's where he started his hand washing, habit. And it's quiet in the mind library. I'm hunched over a language workbook trying to fill in the blanks, but all the letters come out jumbled. I write them over and over again until the pages are filled with illegible scribbles. Frey peeks over my shoulder like nothing's wrong. Okay, we're in the mind library, by the way. Interesting. Here's Frey, just hanging out. Doing someone's homework again, Miss Wilshire. You do know that's not your obligation to do it, don't you? Okay, and I can only assume we're role-playing as Charlotte. That's just a thing that Charles did. By the way, I had this whole theory from the second game that, Charlotte, I don't know. I really did feel like it did imply that Charlotte was a trans woman, I think, to be honest, and that Charles was like her dead name or something, but maybe I was like jumping to conclusions. Really what it is, I guess, I mean, it could still be kind of like that, but I guess I can only assume that really Charles, like, is just self-inserting himself as Charlotte. He's just role-playing more than anything else, or maybe something deeper, I don't know, but anyway. It's for a friend. Huh, so that's why you couldn't turn them down. Because they said you're friends. Was it wrong to believe them, Frey? No, of course not. Miss Wilshire is a very earnest girl after all. Too gullible for her own good. You see, what your so-called friend used was a keyword. Ah yes, search engine optimization to get views on your YouTube channel. A password that doesn't mean anything. You heard it and immediately thought of the meaning you had for it. You may have thought the other person meant, I want to help and understand you, but in reality they meant I want to use you for my own needs. Sure, they could have been honest with you, but would you be doing this for them if you knew the truth? Right. But that doesn't make them evil per se. If they were the main character, I'm sure the viewers would understand their way of thinking. Frey runs his finger over a messed up sentence and stops at a period mark. The true evil lies in muddled words, Miss Wilshire. Remember that. I absentmindedly look at the ruined workbook. Still, if I don't do as they say, I'll be left all alone. This is all I'm good for anyway. Frey leans his head on me, but I have no strength left to shove him away. You know that's not true, Miss Wilshire. You just want someone to make you feel better about yourself. Even if someone you despise. But don't worry. I know all the words you want to hear. You may feel like you're never doing enough, but in reality you're always doing your best, aren't you? Always pretending that you're the victim, I guess, or something. I don't know. But yeah, like doing other people's homework, like letting people cheat on your tests or doing other people's homework. I never did that. I don't know. I think what it was, because I'm just a weirdo, I guess. But I was always immune to peer pressure, I feel like. Like when it's something like, it's like, hey, you want to like skip class, I'm like, nah, actually, no. I'm like, nah, I want to go to school. So, or I want to go back to class or whatever. So I always felt like I was very immune to peer pressure. I don't know. I just felt like, I don't know how to describe it, but like I just never felt like the need, really, I guess, to like do anything that I considered was like wrong or maybe uncomfortable. I just like, nah, I just don't do it. So, see ya. Anyway. Hey Kako, why would she even hang around that guy? I'm not sure what you mean. Were you talking about just the last scene with Frey and Charlotte? Again, the context, by the way, for this visual novel is definitely after you play the Hello Charlotte trilogy, which I did a whole playthrough on and everything already. But yeah, I assume that was in Charles's imagination. If you want like a straightforward answer, something like that. I can only assume. Anyway, during the first year of high school, however, we go on a school trip. Wow, a school trip. Oh, I'm pressing Z, by the way. I'm so used to RPG Maker. A lot of the Hello Charlotte games are like RPG Maker games. But yeah, press spacebar. I don't have anyone to make promises about sitting together with, so right now I'm left with 3 choices. A, sitting with the teacher. B, sitting with one of the class bullies. Or C, approaching Mr. Fennell, who happens to have a seat open near him. I decide the latter is the lesser evil. Mind if I sit here? Not at all. Thanks. Now that I think about it, it's the front seat. I shouldn't be taking it. You can just change with someone if they get car sick. I, for one, can't sit in the back. I always get dizzy. Sucks to be you. Vincent laughs dryly. His laughter doesn't reach his eyes. Crap. I just messed up my second informal conversation with him. By the time I gather myself again, Vincent's long since asleep. Has a nice little neck pillow? You can just bring a neck pillow with you? I guess so. His head is bumping against the bus window in small intervals. I bring up my MP3 player. Oh, yes, all the cool kids have MP3 players. My iPod, I guess, or something. But minutes later, everyone decides to watch an action movie. Oh, you can do that? You can watch a movie in the bus? I never had that experience before. The loud sound doesn't seem to bother Vincent, who is sleeping with earplugs. I should have brought some too. In the end, I settle on watching the movie and lose the track of time. By the time we arrive at the hotel, it's past midnight. I get a room with 3 guys who don't mind me ditching them during the night. Success. At best, they'll get drunk and play cards. Wait, get drunk? When you're high school? You can't do that, it's illegal. And play cards in someone else's room until sunrise, and at worst, one of them brought drugs. Maybe both. I never experienced that. I don't know. It's funny though, because I did grow up in not like a nice neighborhood, to be honest. You know, I grew up in like in the poor neighborhood. But ironically, I never like seen drugs. I guess I just never went looking for it, I guess. I don't know. But like drinking alcohol and doing drugs already in high school? Like the first year even? That's crazy to me. And you have to wait at least until you're in university before, you know, it's like get into like hard drugs. I don't know. Anyway, we get up the stairs and unlock our room. Like kids these days, you know, kids these days, they're crazy. They grow up so fast. It has a bed and a shower, so it's perfect. My classmates leave the room as soon as they finish unpacking. As expected, they don't bother inviting me anywhere. Glad they know I hate having fun. I spend half the night sketching ideas for comics I may draw someday. All of them feel like I've seen them before. In the morning, I emit the light of freshness. I like being up early. I don't. You know, me personally, I hate mornings. The hotel dining room is dead silent like a cemetery. Out of my classmates, only some girls and Vincent are present. I decided to drop into the seat next to him. Morning. Good morning. I didn't see you last night. I was getting my beauty sleep. Also, I've noticed, yeah, like, what are these like real things? Is it acne? Can you get acne in your hands? I mean, usually it's on your face, right? I don't know. Oh, actually, no. Okay, I get it now. It's dry skin because he's washing his hands so much. That's what it is. Anyway, took me a while to get that. Did you party with everyone? Of course. Have to admit, I have a hard time imagining you drinking. Why? I have a high alcohol tolerance. Unlike many. Don't remind me. I woke up to the sounds of someone puking in the toilet next door. Unpleasant, isn't it? My face says it all. Still, the image of Vincent downing alcohol like a glass of juice seems really funny to me, so I can't help but laugh out loud. Vincent gives me a questioning look, so I quickly try to change the topic before he asks anything. Well, when I drink, I just become sleepy. How old are you guys? Isn't it? I mean, maybe it depends on the country, but I think in Canada, you have to be like 21 to like drink, or I could be wrong. I don't know. You have to be like old. You have to be an adult. These are kids. These are teenagers. I think they're in high school, right? That's crazy to me. Drinking already? Can't do that. Can't do that. I mean, I never drink. Even as an adult, I don't drink at all. I just never really got into alcohol, I guess. Seems like, I mean, obviously, it's a very biased perspective, but like, I don't see the point, you know, it just probably, like, to most people, probably, it just tastes disgusting from what I've heard, and it just gets you drunk, but I don't want to be drunk, you know, I don't know. Boring, right? Is that so? I thought you'd be the type to talk a lot. Nah, if anything, I shut up for good. Then fall asleep. I think I'm the type of people would call an ambulance for because they jerkily think I died of lethal ethanol intake. You sound like you speak from experience. Well, the trip itself is nothing special. Art museums never interested me much. During one of the excursions, Henrietta gets lost and I volunteer to look for her. Thankfully, I spotted her at the statue near the Museum of a Dead Phone. Henrietta doesn't let go of my shirt until we get back to the group. The night at the hotel on the way back doesn't go as smoothly as the first one. This time, I have to share a room with a guy who doesn't mind other people seeing him make out with his girlfriend right in the room. I'll be like, get a room, you two. Oh, wait, this is the room. I did, so I grabbed my jacket and make my escape. Escape! Good thing I don't need to solve any puzzles to escape the room, you know? It'd be really bad if I did. It's already past curfew. Probably not the best idea to spend the night on the hotel stairs, but whatever. Okay, rather than like spend time, you know, or rather spend the night next to someone making out, we'd rather sleep on the stairs, okay? I mean, you know what, I don't know. I mean, I feel like it's just a thing in a lot of stories, but nobody ever goes to the teacher, you know? Maybe, I mean, sometimes the teacher is incompetent, I guess, or they don't care. But like, what I would do is like, hey, teacher, those kids are making out in our room. Like, kick them out, you know? It's like, they should be on the stairs, not me. Anyway. But better than the best not saying stuff, but whatever. I don't know, maybe there's no teacher supervision, which would be weird because it's like a school trip, right? There should be a teacher around here, I don't know. Just as I start to doze off, someone shakes my shoulder. Lur, or Eiler, I guess? Eiler. You'll catch a cold if you sleep here. It's Vincent. Ah, thanks. I didn't mean to fall asleep. Why are you out at this hour? Just want to get some fresh air. I do enjoy night walks. We're not allowed to leave the rooms at night, you know. Then may I ask why you're here? I guess I'm not a fan of voyeurism? No, that sounded bad. Forget it. Okay. I'm guessing there are problems with your roommate? Yeah, that's a pleasant way to put it. I could use less pretty words, but it'd leave a bad taste in my mouth. Mr. looks at the night sky. It's nice here. So quiet. I don't have to wake up to shouting. I don't know what to say up to that. It's probably something to do with like domestic abuse. Awkward. So I just pick at my skin. Sorry, I said too much. No, that's fine, pitiful, awful. None of these seem to fit. I'm not someone who should comment. We sit in silence for some time. That being said, do you plan to return to your room? No, I'll wait it out a bit more. I see. Well, good night then. Night. Thanks for keeping me company. It's my pleasure. Half an hour later, I returned to my room, only to find my classmates sleeping soundly. This asshole. I fall asleep thinking that'd be nice to go somewhere with my class again. Alright. And then passwords. Number 14. Incoming message from Vincent. Would you mind joining me for lunch? Sure, just gonna grab something to eat. Is it the usual place? Yes. I'll be going ahead then. Vincent likes to eat outside. It's more quiet here, he says. After the class trip, we started hanging out more often. Sometimes he invites me for lunch, like today. Don't you think the education system is flawed? You know, it's like, we're gonna criticize the education system already? Usually you wait until like a little bit older before you do that. I don't know. Vincent brings a hand to his chin, thoughtful. Depends on what you define as a flaw. If the main objective of education is discipline, then it is essential to have a hierarchy. I'm rather thinking about the things we learn. Take today's test, for example. Do you actually know what the entropy of isolated systems never decreases means? Can you explain that? The entropy of isolated systems never decreases. I assume that's like a physics thing? I don't know. No, not really. I just let the material needs to answer the questions. Yeah, the same. I just absorb the information, really, for the most part. See? You only learned the answer the teacher wanted to see. Well, you know, that's how school works, okay, buddy? Not only will you forget this knowledge, but you have no clue what you were writing about. Well, that's not the point, Charles. The point is that you learn to learn. By learning the material, you're practicing your ability to learn things in the first place. So you don't end up like Mr. Idiot who, like, you know, doesn't know how to Google answers on the internet and just believes the first thing that anyone tells him. Anyway, I don't know. We're only learning keywords that we don't know the meaning of, and we don't get any practical knowledge. Well, that's only because, you know, you have to learn to like something in the first place, right? You know, obviously, you might not care about the entropy of isolated systems, but you might care about, I don't know, video game development. So in order to, like, learn how to make video games, you probably need to study the same way you did in school, you know, and everything, right? And because you care about it, you actually retain the information. At least that's, I can only assume that's how you're supposed to do it. I don't know. He has a point. I don't know. Maybe it's because I was a straight A student, because it was never a problem for me. But anyway, I can understand a little bit though. Like obviously, some like the way you learn at school might not be like the best way for everyone. Some people, that's the whole thing, right? Some people learn by doing. Some people learn by by like visual aids. Things like that. People have different learning styles. Someone who gets like a bad mark in a class doesn't necessarily mean they're like dumb. It's just that the learning style that was in the actual class might not be a good fit for them or something. I don't know, but anyway. If you can't find use for theoretical knowledge, it's meaningless, right? However, I wouldn't use this statement as an excuse to slack off, or accuse people of using bad teaching methods for that matter. Right. I just want you to hear me out on this. If given the opportunity, I'd like to change something myself. It'd be ridiculous to tell others how to do their work. I'm relieved you understand. I think it's not just the education system that uses keywords, though. Words that carry no meaning in literal speech in everyday life. Then mass media is just entirely made out of them. Okay, this is just a couple of nerds. Just like, I don't know. We're very smart because we're criticizing society, I guess, or something. I don't know. It's just template phrases that are guaranteed to cause a reaction. But the hidden objective may be entirely different. Yeah, like articles bashing local art exhibitions are actually written to promote them. Oh crap, I think the break will end soon. You still haven't finished your food. Don't worry about me. Well, he doesn't like to eat food, I guess. People who say like for every other word? Well, that's me, actually. I use too many filler words. That's a me problem. I use like I can't stop myself from saying When I don't think about it, I just end up using to fill in all the dead air. Somehow, I don't know why. We hurriedly finish our modest lunch and run a class. Hey, time for puberty! The greatest time of your life, where your face is bombarded with acne and pimples. The older we get, the more disturbing and obnoxious everyone becomes. They try to connect, clumsily and erratically. Which I understand to some degree, but I've always been fine in my own company. Also Vincent's, but he can be tiring too. Sometimes he starts ranting on subjects I don't understand, which gets tedious. Like, hell do I give a damn about politics? Hell with politics. I don't want to talk about politics. I don't want politics in my video game. No, go back to your containment board for God's sake. Containment board? What does that mean? Well, the first thing I think of, to be honest, I think of 4chan or something. I don't know. Containment board? It's like a forum, maybe? Where he rants about, like, politics. Henrietta isn't a saint either. Am I actually masochistic for enjoying being badmouthed by her? Is that your fetish or something? No. At least she has the same horrible taste in anime. Ah, yes, my Japanese cartoons. Ever since kindergarten. We like Japanese cartoons. Miss Warhol, you absolutely have to consult me on dating sims. We can make a fortune off this. Fuck off, Eiler. It won't sell. Here, at least. And don't talk so loudly. The other girls will hear. It's your fault for trying to seem something you're not. So how about it? You and me a doujin circle? We'll make this thing. It's called Fate Stay Night or something? No, I've never written a finished story in my life. Just copy the popular tropes, from TV tropes. Everyone only wants things they're used to. Just go away, Eiler. You're a bother. Go pester someone else. And don't forget the H scenes. Gotta add in the H scenes. Just because, even if it doesn't fit the story at all, it's just so you can sell your game, I guess. That's what all of the popular visual novels did, just like really like awkwardly just insert just porn into your game, and somehow that makes it sell better. I don't know. We live in a society. Talking to Miss Warhol always lifts up my mood because she's such fun to talk to. Have you heard of Heaven's Gate? Well, that's the game that I'm playing right now. They're an organization that preaches that our world is controlled by alien puppeteers from another world. Ah, yes. Fucked up, right? Does that mean their world is more real than ours? What even is real these days? Do you think we could be saved if we refuse to be actors on the stage? Maybe we should leave altogether. Message. What's up with the emergence of the web cults lately? You mean Heaven's Gate? Actually, I helped copyright the contents for the site. What, really? Of course. Any kind of content has curators. This one was meant to be a prank, though. You don't actually believe that we're puppets on a string, do you? You know, we're not like fictional characters being written by like an author or anything. The text you wrote was awfully convincing, though. I'm honored. Why Heaven's Gate, though? We wanted it to seem big, despite it being a prank. Doesn't it sound like something promising? Maybe we could make a video game series about it or something, I don't know. Yeah, sounds pretentious as fuck. It doesn't mean anything, really. Just like Heavenly Kingdom doesn't exist. So, an empty promise of virtue, huh? Still, isn't it kind of dangerous? People might believe you guys for real. That would be silly, don't you think? Well, actually, isn't there something called Poe's Law? Or something, where there's a very fine line between satire and sincerity, and sometimes that line gets very blurred if given, you know, to a large enough audience. Or something like that. So, you gotta be careful. Don't accidentally make like a weird suicide cult, you know? Anyway. Interlude, rationality. Oh, here's Bennett, by the way, just suddenly. Mr. Honecker, do you think I'd act more rational if I killed my remaining emotions? I don't believe we could be rational without feelings. Patients with prefrontal cortex brain damage cannot experience emotions. To them, any decision seems as good as the other. For example, when I think of killing someone I care about, I'm overwhelmed with horror. It goes without saying that I never do it on a whim. Thus, feelings are essential for rational thinking. Soap inhibits the prefrontal cortex functionality as a side effect, right? I've been saying it all the time, but consuming it isn't doing you any good. You lose all the ability to distinguish the weight of one decision from another. And that means? That means killing me and eating cookies for breakfast will be morally equal to you. My point is, killing your emotions will only worsen your overall mental state. It's okay to care, Bennett. Bennett croaks out a laugh. Weird. I could only assume that's like not real. That's like Charles is like part of his like fiction, you know? I mean, just like in the games, right? Oh, like fictional characters or imaginary characters. I don't know. And I just got the soap analogy, by the way. You know how like Charles is like very much a germaphobe, I guess, or is it misophobe? I don't know what misophobe actually means, to be honest. But I assume like something to do with like cleanliness, obsession with like being clean, right? I think that's why his characters, at least the characters related to, what's his face? You know, the doctor or the scientist or whatever. You know, the crew or whatever, the wears the hazmat suits. That's why they consume soap. It's because soap is like, it's symbolic of his obsession with being clean, right? Like soap cleans things, right? So that's why it's like a drug, I guess. I assume that's where it comes from. Anyway. Vincent peeks over my shoulders, startling me I can't speak. Vincent peeks over my shoulders, startling me with his voice. And I'm pressing Z again, because I'm so used to RPG Maker. Are you writing something? This rarely counts as a writing. Or as writing. Fennell steps over the bench, now facing me directly. Are you dissatisfied with what you're making? No, not exactly. Not more than usual, it's just... I don't know how to communicate my thoughts to others. The whole plot looks too contrived. I stopped reading after the first page. Do you think your readers are stupid? No. If anything, it's my own fault that I'm a clumsy writer, not theirs. Then do you not trust them? I don't. I mean, I really want to. But I'd be lying if I said I did. I see. If you can't bring it around no matter what, why not prove that you yourself can be trusted? Vincent leans closer into my personal space, making me recoil a bit. Show that you've done your research, that you're knowledgeable about subjects you're handling, that you're involved as much as your reader is, that you're prepared to bare your mind and soul. Okay. His presence suddenly overbearing. Vincent looms over me. This is a bit much, Vincent. I'm just writing some weird fan fiction. I'm gonna be so serious about it. My breathing hitches. I feel small. Wouldn't I be making a fool out of myself that if I admit my weaknesses? Yes, it'll make you vulnerable. It'll leave you in the open. Naked in public. That's public indecency? Vincent, is against the law in most countries. Guts out. Oh, guts out? I'm just thinking of the games. Literally, guts out. Come, cop a feel. For $1.99 only. Thrilling, right? Yet still you'll be the one in control. Because it was your conscious decision to reveal the information, you hold power over it. And with those words, Vincent leaves my personal bubble and drops on the bench beside me. Having nothing to hide puts you both at an advantage and disadvantage, but my opinion is that it's worth it. Huh. I suppose that's one way to go about it. Maybe I should make a game. 3 games, in fact. You know, about like a character named Charlotte or something. If it were me, I'd rather have the work exist separately from its author. If anything, I prefer working as anonymously as possible. Yes, I'm not saying my approach will work for each and every person. You should choose what suits you best. And most importantly, don't underestimate your readers. Make them feel like your story is the best thing they'll ever experience. Make them feel that they can only feel that way with you. And there you have it. A story you can be proud of that's very convoluted, and very meta, and has lots of themes and symbolism. You know, it's like the games. The way you put it sounds like you're selling your mind to others. Does it? I call it sharing. Besides, being insincere in your work will result in flavorless throwaway texts. Do you want to write disposable garbage like that? Mr. Fennell, you're intense. That's a lot of knowledge for someone as young as you, Mr. Fennell. I'm just saying what I've learned from more experienced writers. And I suppose I'm really passionate about writing. Oh, I didn't know. Is he writing something too? You just look like you needed advice. Were the words I chose enough? Yeah, thanks, I owe you one. Actually, would you like to read what I've written so far? I think I could use some feedback. Sure. Don't expect mercy though. I'm gonna be like that really harsh critic where I basically say your story sucks in every single way. Bring it on. I'll fetch you my notebook next week then. There's a lot written, so you can take your time with it. Our conversation is cut off by the ringing school bell. During our final high school year, Vincent joins the student council and invites me to do the same. Did you mention that you want to influence school life if possible? I believe it's a good opportunity to do so. I think it's not about good ideas, but rather the ability to convince others, which is something you have. And right now, I'm using it to convince you to try it. Oh, touché. So persistent. Okay, fine, I'll tag along. Success! You'll definitely regret it. Wait, that's the opposite of words of encouragement. It's past 6 p.m., and we're one of the last students leaving school. I stretch and allow myself to get a prolonged yawn. Today's meeting was so tiring. I need a no people day soon. I need a no people day every day. Anyway. I can understand that. Says Vincent, who talked during the whole meeting. How do you even have the energy for all that arguing? I just enjoy good discussion. More like uncivilized discourse. Everyone was basically trying to shout louder than the others. Yeah, I hate when people just do that. I much prefer when people just take turns talking. I don't know. I don't like it when people are just talking over each other. It's hard to like parse out all the information if everyone's just doing that the entire time. It's too overwhelming and annoying. Thrilling, isn't it? I can't believe you. I'm joking. It was indeed a bit tiring. I'm not a big fan of the noise. You know, it's like being a Discord call, you know, of like 10 people. Like, I don't like that at all. You know, that's the opposite of what I consider good conversation. You know? However, I don't feel like going home just yet. Well, the weather's not bad. I was planning to invite you for a walk anyway. Alright. Should we walk in science for a while? Good plan. 2 introverts. Well, I don't know if Vincent's an introvert, because they did say like he liked to talk, but you know, it's like a simulation of 2 introverts just walking. It's just silence, no dialogue. I let my vision lose focus, and I feel the world around me slow down. We part ways after an hour of strolling around the park. Feeling re-energized, I spent the whole evening leisurely studying subjects ahead of the program. Nerd! Anyway, social media. We're waiting for the next class to start. Henrietta sits near me on the windowsill, dozing off with a chem textbook in her hands. Is this near the windowsill? Is it, well, are we on near the windowsill, or is she on the windowsill? Because that will indicate who's the main protagonist, you know, of this anime. I'm so tired of social media. Everyone's talking so much, but no one's talking about things that really matter. And I feel bad for contributing, you know, by pressing like and retweet and upvote and thumbs up and comment and subscribe or something. Henrietta yawns and stretches, then pinches my nose. What do you think people should be talking about then, genius? And who are you to decide what matters and what doesn't? Shut it. I know, I'm just saying how I feel. And I feel tired. Your adjustments are useless then. It's like wanting a teenage melodrama to have a deeper meaning. Want something profound? Read a book. Or go talk to Fennell. He's like a combination of a therapist and a saint, so no wonder you love that. The way to trivialize him, he's like a god. That's like a weird way to say it. A human? You're just biased because he validates you. Okay, good point. Still, I don't get it. What's so good about him? Aren't you singing him praises just because he's polite? Just because he has the human decency to make effort to be kind to others. He's hardworking, reliable, and after talking to him, I always feel like I've ascended to some new level of human consciousness, okay? If you like him so much, why don't you just marry him? Also, he appreciates the concept of personal space, unlike some. Are you done yet? Oh, now you're just being jealous. Go fuck yourself, Eiler. See? No human decency. Vincent would be like, would you kindly back off? You know, like in that game, Bioshock. Well, that's the same thing. Might as well be. I wonder who's ever gotten angry at someone. He just has high self-control. I lost mine somewhere along the way when I tried to prove that I'm not a doormat for others to step on. So she's conscious about her attitude after all. Mean Henri's the best Henri. Actually, any Henri is great. I can't exactly tell you not to worry about it though. But I like the way you, I like the way you are. Okay. She says, as she has a crush on Vincent, you know, just like the other games maybe. Vincent comes over to do a research project for a school. I welcome him into my room with rubber gloves still in my hands. Eiler, you look proud of yourself. Of course. Cleaning done. Clothes ironed. I can focus on schoolwork in peace. Good. You seem to be especially scrupulous when it comes to organizing. I just can't seem to focus when there's something out of place. I end up thinking about a single sheet of paper lying around unsorted instead of doing something useful. Oh, but that's not the worst of it. Must be tough. My workspace isn't very organized in comparison, although I don't have many personal possessions. Don't like stuff piling up? That too, and perhaps I'm not very sentimental. I briefly wonder if that's really the only reason, but decide not to press on. Well, let's change the topic and not imply that, you know, he's weird for not having, like, any personal possessions and his room is, like, very empty or something because he has no passion for anything. Anyway. I mean, well, for me, I'll be honest, for me as well, I mean, my room is not super bare, but I do like to be minimal, you know, these days. I mean, especially since I moved very recently, I didn't want to, like, bring a lot of things with me or anything. I'm not very much, yeah, I'm not very sentimental either, really. I mean, I guess the biggest thing I have in my room is just my guitar, I guess. I don't even play it anymore, so, other than that, like, I think I had, like, anime posters or whatever, but I took it all down. It's like, whatever, it's just posters. Like, I don't really feel like putting up the posters on the walls again. It's just, I'm lazy now, so I'm like, I'd rather just have a blank wall at this point. It's like, who cares, you know? But anyway. That being said, remember when we were all about collecting stickers and stuff? Yeah, everyone was crazy about trading. I still have my collection. And I can't bring myself to throw away my cat toys too. It's kind of embarrassing. Why? You must have loved them a lot. Having things you love doesn't make you seem infantile. Well, yeah, when you put it like that. What about you? Didn't you have your favorite stuff? No. I only bought popular things regardless of whether I like them or not. Oh, I see. And then? Then I threw them away as soon as they became useless. At this point, Vincent's gaze seemed empty. You know? What a weirdo. He didn't like the Yu-Gi-Oh cards he played or whatever? Or, well, actually, they mentioned like the thing they were trading in elementary, or actually it was kindergarten, I think. I guess they were stickers or whatever. You know, I guess he just didn't have any It didn't have any value for him. You know, he just liked things because they were popular. I was the opposite, definitely, as a kid. You know, I didn't get trends. You know, like people who like popular things, I often did not get into it. You know, I just like whatever I like. You know, back in my day, you know, liking anime was kind of like an underground thing. You know, it was kind of a niche thing. Not everyone liked anime or whatever. Back in my day, it was like a hipster, you know, thing to like anime. Right? His face didn't convey any particular emotion, even though he was smiling, which felt horribly out of place. For a second, it felt like we weren't talking about bootleg Digimon stickers. Okay, well, was that what it was? Yeah, you just name dropping Digimon, I guess. Bootleg Digimon stickers, but something else entirely. Well, yeah, I see. You must have no interest in material possessions. That's admirable. Vincent pauses for a bit and answers. Yeah, that must be it. His words sound hollow. Well, number 20. Uncertainty. The sun is about to rise. Henry's fallen asleep on a beanbag with a joystick in his hands. Wait, Henry? Wait, who's Henry? I mean, Henry is like... Isn't it... whatever. Isn't it one of the aliens or whatever? Is his name Henry? Or is that Henry's a different Henry? I don't know who's Henry anymore. Or is it like Henrietta? I don't know. Or is that different Henry? Oh, Henry, no, Henry, maybe Henry, like, Henri's brother, was it? Like, he appeared very briefly. It wasn't mentioned, like, a couple times, really. But Henry, I guess, is her brother, right? But Audrey comes to hang out on weekends. Sometimes she brings her brother, whom she begrudgingly is babysitting. We play video games and eat snacks. When Henri's not in a school environment, she's far less stressed out. Even her voice sounds lower than usual. Crap, your brother's good at rhythm games. You know, does he play Osu all day? Yeah, use him as you like when you score full combos. That's all he's good for anyway. Aren't you being a little harsh? He deserves it for being a lazy ass. Have you seen his grades? It's like he's made a goal for himself to become the worst student of the year. And maybe his mind just works differently from the rest. You know, he's gonna grow up to be a streamer, so he's gonna... That's all he's good for, I guess, or something. I don't know. I mean, a lot of streamers. Well, I don't know for sure, but it always seems like a lot of famous people are like, they're like super rich and famous, and they're like, I wasn't really good at schools. I just dropped out, but now I'm famous and have a lot of money. So you could be like me if you just drop out of school. You know, I don't know. Even though obviously that's unrealistic. Not everyone becomes rich and famous or anything like that, but you know. Anyway, yeah, that too. But for the most part, he just wants to play MMORPGs all day. I want to help him, but I also want to break from all this shit. I'm tired of working part-time jobs to help my parents sustain his lifestyle. You know, pay for the new hottest video games. And his, like, World of Warcraft subscription or something. I don't know. Do you know how much a console games cost? Add that to the monthly MMO subscription. Gachapos, really? Already doing gachapos? I actually don't know when this takes place, but I don't know. I mean, again, maybe if they live in Japan or whatever. I just know, like, the whole, like, gacha craze. It took a bit until it became more popular in the West, but anyway. Gachapos and merchandise, you know, get my monthly salary. He's even buying, anime figurines. Wow. I didn't have money to do all that, really. I just played, most of my childhood definitely was just spent on, free-to-play games, you know, free-to-play MMOs and all that. MapleStory, you know, RuneScape. I remember. Good times. Your parents don't have to buy all of that, you know. Henry says they motivate him, so if they don't, he just refuses to leave the room. Sheesh. Henry looks at the ceiling, contemplating something. Eiler, I was thinking. Yes? Aren't we actually dating? What? Henry starts counting on her fingers. Look, it's the 5th time I'm staying over. Are you gonna put out or not? No, anyway. You take me out for nice food and carry my bags when I'm shopping. You even look after my brother when I'm busy. Aren't all of those things just things a decent person would do, Miss Warhol? I fail to see your point. Aren't you the one who's always like, I wish someone would call me a princess and take me on cute dates. We buy matching clothes and cuddle on the sofa. Audrey nudges me with her elbow violently. Yeah, you're far from that. please don't use that squeaky voice to imitate me ever again. Oh yeah, I guess you'd be like, I don't know. If you're like this, please don't use that squeaky voice to imitate me ever again. Or whatever. Still, what should we call this? Does it need a specific term? If you're talking about becoming each other's possession, then I'm against it. No one ever belongs to anyone. If for some reason everyone thinks a meaningless string of letters can bind people to them, is it normal to want something you can call your own? It rubs me the wrong way. That would mean treating others as commodities, which in turn contributes to a mindset intrinsic to capitalist society. Okay, so remember when Charles didn't want to be political? Ugh, you just had to bring your pointless Reddit philosophy into it. No, anyway, just saying normal people words? Sorry, I just don't know yet. Henri sighs. Well, me neither. Hold on, let me try something. Henri leads in and kisses me. Okay. So, how was it? It was supposed to be this amazingly good thing that every story leads up to, but it didn't really feel like anything out of the ordinary. What if it was with someone else? I think it'd be the same. You know, I'm not too comfortable with physical stuff. Is there something wrong with me after all? Want me to hit you? Aren't you the one who keeps going on tirades about everyone experiencing life differently? Just because I don't understand doesn't mean it's your fault. Sorry. I just feel like I'm constantly letting people down. And find a downer like you, jeez. Or stop worrying about it. Just look at Fennell being comfortable in his own company. Vince is always surrounded by people though. He only started isolating himself just recently. I've only talked to him a few times. It felt like he wasn't even there. He's not really listening to what you say. So my conclusion is that he's full of shit. But at least he's content with it. Maybe he was just bored around you? Maybe, but he's like that around literally everyone. And you kinda suck at reading people. I bet Fennell's the kind of person who'd populate a planet of clones of himself and be happy about it. I'm just, again, reminded of the games. You know, it's kinda similar, you know? A bunch of clones, kinda like a hive mind, you know? Like an oracle, anyway. Where did that come from? If I cloned myself or had my personality divided into parts, it'd end in a mass suicide, haha. Hey, wink wink, nudge nudge, about like the main games. Oh, now you're being weird. Anyway, I guess it's stupid to try and mold you into something you're not. Even you do everything a romantic partner would, it's pointless if you're not feeling it. I'm sorry. There you go again. Should be a thank you, shouldn't it? You're right. Thank you, Henri. Alright, there you go. Ended in, you know, in good terms, I guess. Because I can only assume the canon story, question mark. You know, Henri and Charles did start dating in the different, you know, in the main universe. I guess main story? I don't know, anyway. It's confusing, but they tried to date, but, you know, it wasn't really a thing they really liked. I guess in this story, they found that out early, I guess. And they're like, friends? You know, they're just friends, I would say, I guess. They're just in a platonic relationship, I can only assume, because, well, I don't know. I was gonna make a joke about how, like, Charles is just really gay. I mean, I said that last time, actually, in the third game, I think. Third game, right? Yeah. But actually, I don't know. Does he, like, I don't know. I guess we'll see. Because it seems like he's you know, he seems to really like Vincent. Maybe he wants to be in a relationship with Vincent, but, like, that was kind of maybe implied in the third game, but that might not be the case either. I don't know. Not sure. I guess we'll see.